Okay, it's time to start with your book layout. Hopefully you've downloaded a book by now from Project Gutenberg or another source. When you download, grab the plain text version. That's the easiest way to go. So when I click on this, I could right click and save link as. That's probably the easiest thing. And that would download my text version. If you do just click on it directly, it'll open in your browser probably, and then you'll just have to save that. So Control S on my keyboard would save that nice and quickly. So I have mine saved as Huck Finn. I just changed the name instead of this page 76 nonsense. Just make sure it's a plain text document.txt and save it in your graphic tech folder or wherever you choose to save your work. You will surely want some little pictures to add to your document as well. So you may wish to go to the Noun Project or Unsplash or one of our Creative Commons sources and download some stuff to stick in your document as well. And again, this time I want you to keep track of where you get all your elements from. So I want to know that they are copyright free. We're going to go and put together our book so that it looks like something that you could pick up and read. So mine is starting to look kind of sort of like this. Now I should mention a little disclaimer. This book, I don't know if I should have chosen this book. It's a very old book. It uses some language that we don't use anymore. It's very much a relic of the time. So I certainly mean no offense. I kind of forgot about that part of it when I chose this book. So yeah, just so you know, there are some words in this book that we would not use anymore. Anyway, to go and lay out this somewhat tarnished, beloved childhood classic, we're going to go into InDesign and create a new file. Now, when I create my file, I like to keep it. Books come in different sizes, so the size of the book is kind of up to you. If you want to Google it and choose a book size, depending on what kind of book you want to make, whether it's a hardcover or soft cover or whatever, that's kind of up to you. Easy to resize and change things here in InDesign, so we could always change it later. When I pick something and I don't really know what size to make it, I like to pick a size of paper that I can visualize in my head. So I usually start with either letter or tabloid, depending on what I'm doing. In this case, I want to use a letter size, a normal piece of printer paper, but I want it to have the pages as if it were folded in half. So I'm going to choose letter half here, so that together the two pages side by each would make one piece of printer paper basically. So that would be, if you look at it here, 5.5 inches wide, 8.5 inches tall. We definitely want facing pages here. I'm going to add just a few pages. I'll just make it say 4 for now. Even numbers kind of make it a little bit easier here. Doesn't really matter. We're going to add the pages later on anyway, so I'm not going to worry about that. We definitely want to start with number 1. I'm going to add a primary text frame, and that just means that my text frame will already be there for me. You do not have to do that. You can add it later. Doesn't really matter. I'm only going to have one column for most of my book. That won't be the case for all of it. Here's a couple things I like to change though. Inside, basically, the pages are going to be folded, right? I'm just going to, I'm going to unlink that and just make my inside a little bit smaller, because basically we're going to have kind of this doubled when we have the pages beside each other. So I'll just go a little closer to the side, and then you can play around with some of these things. Most pages in a book are blank, so I don't need a background image or anything like that, so I'm not going to have a bleed on this. You may wish to. I guess that's kind of up to you. But again, you can always change these things and play around with them and see what works for you. But the important stuff is up here. I'm going to make mine letter half. I'm going to start with 4 pages, make sure they're facing, and I'm going to have a primary text frame. I'm going to create that, and you can see on my pages panel over here, there's my 4 pages. They are side by each for page 2 and 3. And That's just how it's laid out. The first thing I'm going to do is go and save that. I'm going to make sure it goes in my graphic tech folder. So I've already started one here, so I'll just call this book layout 2, whatever. But save your book layout in your graphic tech folder. Make sure OneDrive is running on your computer today and save that file. So here's my file. I've got it saved, and now the document name is correct. Now a couple things are going to be very important here, and the most important thing, I suppose, is we want to set up parent pages. We want to be able to have every page kind of have a similar look and layout. So I'm going to go on my Pages panel. By the way, I have switched my workspace here to book. It doesn't really matter. To be honest with you, I just kind of wanted to see what was there. If you're used to working on Essentials or Essentials Classic or whatever you're used to working on, honestly, it kind of doesn't matter. The panels that we need are always available under Window. So if you are on book or you're on whatever you're on, doesn't really matter, but my screen might look a little different than yours. So anyways, now I've lost my Pages panel. Maybe I'll stick that one up there. Yeah, that's more gooder. Okay, so my Pages panel, what was I talking about? A parent. Here we go. On my parent page, this is where I'm going to go and lay out how my book is going to look. Now when you read a book, it generally has the name of the book, maybe the author's name, and definitely a page number at the bottom, absolutely. So that's what I'm going to lay out right now on my parent pages. So here's my primary text frame. That's where most of the text is going to go. And then down at the bottom, or sometimes at the top, it's kind of up to you. I'm going to go and add a couple little text boxes. The first one is going to be right about there and over in this corner, and that's going to be my page number. So I'm going to go into that with my type tool, and I am going to always change the font. For my page number, I like something fairly big and blocky. Let's see what that looks like. No. I want something big and blocky. Maybe I'll try that. And you can choose your color and your size and all that stuff. Maybe I'll just make mine a dark blue. And in this box, I'm going to go to Type and Insert Special Character, Markers, and Current Page Number, or Control-Alt-Shift-N if you got a lot of fingers. So in there, I'm going to put my current page number, and that's going to be a little bit close to my text in my book. I'm going to make that a little bit bigger, I think. So I'm going to Control B. I like to go into the text frame options, and instead of making this sit on the top, let's see what's center. I could either do center or bottom. Maybe I'll do bottom. Yeah, something like that. Okay, so instead of sitting right up against where my last line of text is going to be, I'm going to give it a bit of space. Then I'm going to zoom out, and I'm going to take that exact same thing and just put it over here. The easiest way to do that is Alt and Shift with that selection tool. If I select that Alt and Shift, I can drag out a copy and just pull it all the way over there. This one, however, I want it to sit on the right, so I'll just change that, and that'll look pretty good. I'm going to use that same text styling for the author's name and the book title. So once again, I'll just select one of those, Alt and Shift, make a copy. But this one, I'm going to center. I'm going to make it the whole page width, and I'm going to put it in the center. So this is going to be by Mark Twain, like that, and then I'll Alt Shift, make a copy over here. I think that's how you spell it. Should probably check. Huckleberry Finn, yeah. Spelling, kind of important here. So there we go. So that's basically my quick and easy parent page layout. The one other thing is that I'm going to add some other parent page styles later on. So each chapter is going to have a bit of a different look. But for me, I'm just going to wait a little bit and worry about that maybe in the next video. So make sure you have your pages set up correctly. You have your parent pages ready to go, and we'll go from there in the next video.